Well, it's just a tremendous win over a team that was playing as well as anybody in the conference. They're going to be right in there till the end. Hate for it to end that way, but it definitely was a foul. I thought both teams made plays down the stretch to win the game and not to lose the game. Other than the head coach here made a little adjustment that didn't work out real well in one of their baskets or one of their fouls that he got 2 free throws on. But just to have a lot of respect for the staff and the players in that other locker room and feel very fortunate to come out of here with a win tonight.
Questions? Greg, what do you think got you on track in the last 10 minutes? Because it had been kind of a slog up to that point. You and I deserve a lot of the credit for that.
Yeah.
What do you think got you back?
They're hard to score against. They're hard to play against, and we didn't get to the free throw line in the first half. We weren't getting to the free throw line. We just had to be a little more patient. They're so well schooled and well prepared defensively that you can't just go down and make one pass or drive down and score. You're going to have to move the ball, get it sideline to sideline, in and out of the paint. And we got to the free throw line. We started attacking. With Lucas and Manny in there more, they kind of had to stick to those guys so we didn't get threes. They had to guard those guys a little bit more. Where in the first half they were sagging off a lot of our guys. And we just had a little more patience. Manny got 8, I think, in the second half, and we got to the rim a little bit and got to the free throw. Only 2 guys shot free throws, but we only missed 1.
You switched up the lineup going into the second half. You put Lucas out there. Was that to draw the defenders out so you could try to get to the bucket a little bit more?
A little bit, and Devontae's a hard worker and our best defender, but we gotta be a better listening team and doing instead of doing what they think is the right thing. Coach Ragland did a heck of a job with the scout. He had us well prepared, and the guys just have to listen, and carry that stuff out. And it's Lucas deserved to start, and they do. They stick to him a little bit. They're not going to give him an open 3, which opens the lanes for those other guys.
What's going through your mind, Greg? You have a nice last 10 minutes, and then you and I has a good defensive possession to force the travel on Lucas, and then James hits a pretty tough shot in the lane. It doesn't look good at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going through your mind at that point? Because the team had fought back, and it didn't look like you were going to get the reward.
Oh, it's probably like how Jake feels down there now. Getting a foul called basically at the buzzer on a 3 when it's a right call, but it's a tough call for making. He had a lot of guts to make that call, but James got to the rim, got fouled, made his free throws. We switched on the ball screen. I thought Justin Gant did a great job guarding him, and he just made a really, really tough shot. With our turnover there on Lucas, it was a little bit of a combination of everybody's fault there, not reading the defense quite as well as we should have, but you give their defense all the credit there. They just switched and stayed beneath us, and we didn't get around them, so it was a tough possession.
There at the end, when they go to the monitor to look, what'd you say to the team and to Jake?
Just talk. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to make at least 2 of those. Not with Odom. He could have missed 5 during the game, but there's no question if it's on the line, he's usually going to make them. And he's as relaxed as can be. So Manny at the start was telling him to stay away. He didn't want to be talking to him, but I said, don't do that to him. We're just talking about, I asked him if he got fouled. He got fouled. It was definitely a 3. And then when they were we were waiting to see if they were going to put any time at all back on it, and I was talking about that.
Greg, you mentioned that the team was better getting to the basket in the stretch where you were successful offensively. Why do you think it is that it seems like it takes a lot of the course of the game for them to get that going, and they've been successful with it? Why do you think that is?
Our pace, and we talk about it's one of the things I put on the board, and it's just one of the most important things on offense that I learned from Coach Waltman. You have to have tremendous pace, whether you're cutting or you're going to set a screen, and we're just a little slow. We're a little too easy to guard at times, and guys I think it has to do with guys being so unselfish, just more concentrating on catching it and moving the ball. But if you're just catching it and moving it and you're not moving yourself without any pace to you, you're really easy to guard. It's something we got to work on, and I have not done a good job with our offense. I really haven't. We don't work on enough. We're so locked in practice. You've been there. We're guarding the other team, and we got to work more on us on the offensive end, and we'll start doing that a little bit more.
Talk about the importance. Obviously, this win was important. Late January's haven't been kind of this program in recent years, and a loss in this game after a loss at Illinois State going into a 2-game road trip would have been tough. Just talk about within the framework of the schedule how important this game was.
Oh, it's hugely important. And where you think more negative, we've talked about it. I think more positive. I think it's a good time. We want to be playing better at the end of the year. Obviously, getting these guys twice. I hope we don't play them in St. Louis because it's virtually impossible to beat a really good team 3 times. But this was huge for us. I thought our guys did an unbelievable job of hanging in there. We didn't play as well as we needed to. I think Jake would tell you the same thing. But it's 2 teams that are really guarding each other, really fighting. They were playing real well coming into it, and with the stretch again, with you got, it's nice to continue to get better, and we have to. I mean, we got every game on this schedule, starting with Old Wichita on Tuesday, is going to be an awfully difficult chore.
In the spirit of thinking positive, R.J. Mahurin had a little bit better game, and he's been in a little bit of an offensive funk lately. Talk about it. He hit some pretty big shots to get you going.
We've really been doing a lot of extra shooting, and RJ is more of a shooter than anything else. We only had 2 guys shoot free throws, and it was him and Jake, and RJ made 2. Well, he made all 4, but he made 2 huge ones when we had to have them. And Coach Godino gave him the chains for the defensive player of the game, just because he was hanging in there one-on-one most of the time, fighting those guys on the interior. And RJ gets it from me more than anybody probably I've coached. I'm on him pretty hard. I've had high expectations for him, and I love him so much as a kid, just like all the guys. I just really want for him to be a good player, and he's a competitive guy. People that don't know him don't know how competitive RJ is, and it was obviously good to see him get some. So we got to get him around the basket some too, and get him to the free throw line and not just jump shots.